Trying to figure this out here. Fuck am I? Figure this out here. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out how to get myself in the screen there. But if I can't, this is mainly what I wanted was just to be able to go to Tapology here for you guys and get some information on the fighters. All right. So yeah, this is just gonna be a preview video, kind of like the other one I did, but at least you'll get to see on the screen, what's going on here. Jesus. Sorry, Gino. I'm trying, buddy. Um, I just got this thing set up, and I think I clicked off the wrong screen. So I'm just trying to maybe set another one up. I don't know why it's making me do this, but sorry, Gino. I'm trying, buddy. Got this thing set up. Okay, let's try this. All right, there we go. This is what I was looking for. I'm just trying to figure out how to go to the back to my Tapology page. Maybe just go down here and oh, there it is. I mean, I'm in here. I'm trying. I'll have to figure out later how to do it a split screen, but this just gives you a better picture of, you know, so you can get an idea who the hell these guys are. I'll just start at the bottom here. Joe Selecki versus Narulio Eliev. Um, I know this Selecki guy is a jiu-jitsu specialist. check some of his information here. Um, I mean, he's from New Jersey. Jim O, I'm not familiar with that gym. Somewhere in North Carolina or Northern California. Uh, yeah, I mean, his two losses recently, Drakkar Close and Grant Dawson, those are good losses. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, but um, Carl Deaton, I don't know who the hell that is, or I didn't know he was in the UFC, so I don't care about that win. Um, Alex De Silva, I definitely don't care about that win. Donald Cerrone in grappling. RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez in grappling. He grappled to a draw with him. That's really good. Beat Jim Miller, Austin Hubbard, Matt Wyman. Those are some old school guys. Not bad. Jim Miller's a legend, but he ain't that great of a fighter. So pretty much the way I look at it is Joe Selecki hasn't beat a yeah, he hasn't beat anybody that's still in the UFC, it doesn't look like. So man, man, I wish I could figure out how to do this split screen thing, but oh shit. Is that my boy? Is that you? Hey, Gary's in here. Man, somebody's gonna have to help me out with this. I can't, I can't figure out anything here. Oh, jeez. Well, this is just a test run, so well, we'll see how it goes. Oh, thank you for stopping by, Gary. I was actually going to see if you were going live tonight, and just ask you for a few pointers on how to get this page going. My little brother just got me this set up with a laptop and everything, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm so computer illiterate; it's not even funny. But man, I love talking boxing and UFC. I just can't get to the like I said, that split screen like you always go to. But I'm just. But if I click off the screen, like I can't go to the chat or anything. God. I'll just do a little preview from here, see how it goes. So yeah, the other guy that he's fighting, this Nurulio Aliev guy, he is a. You know what? I'm gonna pull it up on my phone so I'll be able to keep an eye on the comments if there is any. Yeah, this other guy, um, it's just pretty much a thing I do in the UFC or all of MMA. If a guy's last name ends in EV or OV and he's undefeated, just take him. Just blindly take him. He's a minus 700. He's a huge favorite. It looks like he went up since yesterday, but just take this guy. I mean, these guys don't lose. It looks like he's from Tajikistan. That's kind of a hotbed for MMA right now. Just go with the minus 700 favorite. Throw him on a parlay. The next fight here, this Fatima Klein. I don't know about. I don't know about this one. Like she's like minus 900. Silver Fox BJJ, so she's a jiu-jitsu specialist. But I don't think she has a win in the UFC yet. Yeah, her. Yeah, her. She got offered a fight on a short notice fight against Jasmine Judavicius. Judavicius is a really good Canadian fighter. She's a solid girl, and that fight was not at Klein's weight class. She had to go up a weight class for that, and she didn't fare well against Judavicius. But Judavicius is she's a veteran, so I don't know if Klein should have even won that fight, and I don't remember the odds on that fight, but it was probably almost even. But this Victoria Dudakova girl for a plus like 700 dog. I think she looks pretty good. I watched her in her last fight. She was horrible against Sam Hughes, and I remember having her in that fight as like she was like a minus 250 favorite, and she got smoked by Hughes. I know it says split decision there, but she gassed herself out, and Sam Hughes is not a great fighter. Neither is Jinhu Fry or Estela Nunez. And, Nunez dislocated elbow injury 34 seconds in, so I don't care about that. Jinhu Fry is 11-9, and she's just very undersized for that weight class. So I don't care about any of those wins. But she was a highly touted prospect out of Russia. She was undefeated when she came to the UFC. So uh, I mean, I would take a shot on her here. I don't believe in that Klein girl. Maybe they know something that I don't, and she's a real blue chip prospect. But I ain't laying 900 on her. Not minus 900. Um, I mean, I guess gun to my head, if I had to pick who's going to win the fight, I would pick her. But this is one, and I don't go with value much, but this will be one to go with um, Dudakova. All right. Yeah, these guys I don't know much about, but Godsilov and Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez sounds like a name. It sounds like there's 4 or 5 of them in the UFC, all from Brazil. Yeah, don't know much about this guy. He's a contender series guy, but yeah, that's why I don't know anything about it. His last fight was against Brenson Ribeiro. I don't know who that. Man, some of these fighters, like I never heard of that guy before. I don't know how he got in the UFC, but that was his first fight off the contender series, so they were just trying to get him a win. He did, but man, majority decision against Brenson Ribeiro. I don't like that too much. But I just think, these guys, his name ends in an OV and he's undefeated. So I'm not picking Bruno Lopez here. Let's see, Bruno Lopez, China team. I never heard of that team before. Um, let's see. He's an LFA guy. That's a good sign. He also fight Bronson Ribeiro and he lost. So, okay, so that Bronson Ribeiro guy is just a contender series guy who, won his fight on the contender series and they gave him a fight try in the UFC and he lost. Other than that, yeah. So after he lost the contender series, he went back to LFA and then fought on the contender series again and won. Yeah, and he got a knockout, so they signed him. But that doesn't mean the guy's too good. I mean, those contender series, I don't like the fact that they just sign guys who get knockouts. Not a huge fan of that. All right, I'm gonna go back and forth here, but let me see if my buddy Gary's going live here. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, Gary, good luck with Texas. Unfortunately, I bet Ohio State. I bet Ohio State minus 250 money line. I'll be rooting against you, unfortunately. I'll root for Texas. I only threw a little bit on it, so I'll root for Texas for you. Yeah, dude, I would love to come on a live with you. Like this part, I got figured out at least. It's just I want to go live. I want to try and give the viewers just something to look at. But man, it's tough when I can't see the chat or anything. Uh, let's go back to this. Like I said, just a test here. This stupid video, trying to figure things out. Yeah, these girls. The only thing I know about Ernesta Carcetti is she's a very tall kickboxer. She's like 5'9". So for women's, oh, okay. I got 2 lives going. That's why. Jesus, I'm all over the place. Uh, Ernesta Carcetti. She is, like I said, she's a tall kickboxer. Let me see. Yeah, her nickname is heavy-handed, but I've seen her fight before. She does not hit hard. I don't know where she got that nickname. Lithuania. I don't really like fighters that fight in some of these countries that don't have like a hotbed of MMA, just because I worry about them trying to find sparring partners, and then they can just kind of run through lower divisions out there and stuff like that. Um, let's see. So she's from the Contender Series, but man, she stepped in against Diane Barbosa. She lost to Barbosa, and I don't think Barbosa's that good of a fighter. Yeah, I mean, she's got a boxing history too, and a kickboxing history. So I just like this girl because she's got the skills on the feet. She doesn't train out of a crazy gym or nothing like this. Let's see where Nicole Kalari. Um, oh, I've seen this girl fight before. Yeah, I think they were trying to hype her up because she's good looking. Yes, contender series fighters. Let's see. How'd she win her fight on contender series? She got an armbar in the first round, so not bad. You get the finish, you pretty much get signed there. But nothing overly impressive, not too many fights. I just worry about her not being able to close the distance. So, I mean, just give me the taller kickboxer girl. Let me see how tall this Kalari girl is, because I know that Carcetti girl is 5'9". This girl's 5'3". So you got a 6-inch height difference there. Give me the taller fighter. And she's minus 270. All right. Next fight we got is I would end it, Gino, but I don't want to mess anything up. I don't know how to get back to it. We got Jacoby Smith and Preston Parsons. Yeah, minus 580 favorite for Jacoby Smith. Just go with this Jacoby Smith guy. I watched him fight on the Contender Series. Preston Parsons is nothing special. Let me see. He train out of a crazy. Elevate MMA is good, but what has he done in the UFC? So he lost to Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott's a blue chip prospect. Semmelsberger is a decent, decent fighter in the UFC, but low level. Trevin Giles is actually a good fighter, and he fought to him to a split. That's not bad. Daniel Rodriguez, he lost to Evan Elder. I don't know who the hell that is. Um, yeah, just not the greatest record. He just they threw him in there against three tough fighters, and he lost to every single one of them. This Jacoby Smith is just as good, if not better, than all three of those guys that he lost to. Fortis MMA, um, that is actually it's somewhere down in Texas. It might be Dallas, Texas, that it's at. But Gary, if you're listening, that is Deron Williams, the old point guard from the Nets. That is his MMA gym. He's I believe he's a full owner of it, if not a part owner, but he actually trains out of that gym because he did have a boxing fight a couple years ago. But Fortis MMA is a really, really top level gym in MMA. It's probably a top five gym in the whole world for just to look at when you're looking at UFC fights. Look for gyms, and Fortis MMA is a really good one. So this is a young kid. He's undefeated, making his UFC debut. They don't want him to lose here. It's a pretty easy pick. Just throw this guy in a parlay. All right, we got Thiago Moises and Trey Ogden. This is a fight where I just like Moises. I just think he's a better fighter than Trey Ogden. Trey Ogden, he's a coach for whatever school his name is. It's Marathon MMA now. It used to be something else that it was James Krause's gym, and then there was a lot of controversy with them having knowledge about injured fighters and betting against them. So that gym is no more. So what's left over of the gym, I guess, is this Marathon MMA, and Trey Ogden is the head coach over there. And Trey Ogden has just been winning as an underdog here. He's beat Logan Razabov, beat Kurt Holloway, Ignacio Brahamas. That guy turned out to be really good. Nicholas Moda, like he's had a tough go. Like Daniel Zellhuber, he beat him. Zellhuber's on a freaking run right now. Lost to Jordan Levitt. I don't like that. Jordan Levitt, I think, got cut from the UFC. But yeah, he's got a good record, and I think he's been an underdog in probably every single one of those fights right there because those are all good fighters. But Thiago Moises is better than all of those fighters right there, and Moises also trains out of the. Yeah, see, it says American Top Team here, but I know he's with the Fighting Nerds now. That gives him in the secondary gym here of the Fighting Nerds. But yeah, I just think Moises is only 29. It seems like he's been in the UFC for forever. Let's see. Yeah, he's got 13 fights in the UFC and he's only 29 years old. And he's got a lot of losses. He's coming off that loss to Ludwig Klein. I mean, Ludwig Klein is just he's a power puncher. Uh, yeah, Mitch Ramirez. I don't even know who that is. I think that was when, yeah, he was coming off. They gave him a tough fight with Benoit Saint Denis, and he lost that fight. And then they just tried to get him a win with this Mitch Ramirez guy, which he did. And he lost to Ludwig Klein. So Moises really needs this win. And I think we're getting good value on him here because he needs to win. You can't have two losses in a row like that, and that's going to bring him to 7-7 in the UFC if he loses. You know, I mean, the guy fought Islam Makhachev, got rear naked choked, but he lasted 4 rounds with him. Joel Alvarez, that's not a good loss. Just Cristiano Giagos, I don't even know what that guy was doing in the UFC, but he also beat Alex Hernandez, Bobby Green, and Michael Johnson right in a row. That's the Moises I'm talking about, and that was from 5 years ago. So that means he was like 25 years old. But yeah, just take Moises here. He's minus 175. Take him. Let's see. Marco Tulio, I believe this is a contender series guy against one of the worst fighters in the UFC, Ihor Pretoria. This Pretoria guy stinks. But I don't know much about this guy. I know I watched every single fight from the contender series. Oh, he's a Shudo box guy. Yeah, so yeah, you just take this Brazilian guy, Shudo box with Diego Lima. That means he's going to be good at leg kicks. He's going to be an all stand up guy. Probably no wrestling whatsoever. Not a lot of jujitsu. They're stand up guys over there, and they're some of the best in the world at it. Um, Yeah, I don't know anybody on his resume, but he did get a spinning back kick knockout in the contender series. So you know you're getting signed there, and they're probably going to take carry on that first fight, which they did. And let's check out Ihor Pateria. Ihor Pateria. Yeah, Pateria. I mean, Jesus. There's a lot of red on this resume. Um, his last loss was to Cesar Almeida, who's fighting on this card. Lost to Michelle Pereira in, or I know that was quick. Yeah, it was under a minute. He lost to Pereira. He beat that Robert Berzik guy, but that Berzik guy is kind of just like him. They're both just Hail Mary knockout artists. Lost to a guy named Rodolfo Bellato. I don't even know who the hell that is. Lost to Carlos Ulberg. He's a really good prospect. He might be fighting for a title here in a little bit. And then he beat Shogun, but I think he was like a 3-1 favorite against Shogun because Shogun was probably almost 50 years old. Nikolai Naraganu, I remember him. He wasn't that bad, but yeah, and then he's a contender series guy, but like not working out well. I don't know what this guy is still doing in the UFC. He's too his UFC record is 2-5. Like, get him out of there. Like, I understand if you want him just in there for guys to win and make a name off, but I don't know why he's there. He's not that good. He is from the Ukraine, so I don't know. With all the stuff that's going on over there, maybe they feel bad if they cut him. I don't know. But yeah, go with this Marco Tulio guy. He is minus 530. Just toss him on a parlay with Jacoby Smith and the other heavy favorites here besides that Klein girl. Next fight is Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunez. I don't know much about these guys, but I do remember Jose Johnson. I just remember he's a really weird fighter. I know I think he's a tall, lanky guy. Yeah, for flyweight, let's see what his height is. Yeah, he's a 6 foot flyweight. So yeah, straight kings or strike kings. Yeah, 1 and 2 in the UFC. Just and I mean, Damon Blackshear is a halfway decent UFC fighter, I guess. I don't know who Asu Alamayev guy is that he lost to in his last fight, and his only win is against a guy named Chad Ellinger. So like he's fighting low level and he's still 1 and 2. And yeah, just not a good sign. But I don't know much about this Brazilian guy either. This Felipe Brenner, he trains at the Pitbull Brothers. Maybe I might have to take a flyer on this guy. But he's 35 years old, and I know he hasn't been in the UFC a long time. Yeah, he's 1 and 3 in the UFC. Like, I don't know how these guys are still in the UFC. Like, why are you still in the UFC if you're 1 and 3 in there? Um, and you're fighting low level once again. Like Joshua Van's a pretty good fighter, but he's very young. And I'm assuming he got knocked out. Yeah, he got ground and pounded. Yuma Horiochi, I don't know who that is. He beat in the LFA. Um, UCA Formiga, he beat in LFA. UCA Formiga was a really good UFC fighter, but Formiga's probably he was probably 40 years old when they fought, and it was after Formiga got cut from the UFC. But Formiga never should have got cut from the UFC. You just let that guy fight for as long as he wants. Eh, let's see. There's next fight is Juliano Soriano and Uros Medic. Wow. This fight's going to be a banger here. Juliano Serrano doesn't have the best record, but he's a really tough guy. I want to say he's from Hawaii. Yeah, he looks Hawaiian. Um, yeah, Wahoo, Hawaii, Extreme Couture Gym. That's all good stuff. That means he can wrestle. All those Hawaiians can wrestle, and Extreme Couture is a wrestling gym. So maybe that's a path to victory that I didn't think about for this guy because Medic is definitely a knockout artist. And I think that's how he wins this fight. And Soriano could definitely knock him out as well. But if Soriano can get this fight to the ground, he'll be able to steal 2 or 3 rounds. And I don't know, maybe he's not a bad underdog pick here. He's just like, yeah, he lost to Nick Maximoff, I remember, was a pretty good prospect. He lost a split decision to him. Brendan Allen, I'm not going to take anything away from that loss. Um, yeah, his only 2 wins are against Miguel Baeza, who's not that great, and Ulcha Lugibala. Can't even pronounce that name, but I don't know who he is. But he got knocked out by him. That's not a good sign. Or he knocked him out in the second round, but I don't know who he is. But then he lost to Dustin Stolfus, who's not a good fighter, like very, very low level, should probably be cut from the UFC. And he lost to Roman Kopylov. Kopylov's a really good fighter. But I mean, maybe he rebounds here against Medic because Medic is going to be throwing down with him. Medic is one of the few fighters from Alaska. I forget. There's only like 3 of them in the UFC from Alaska, but they're all just big, tough white dudes. But not very athletic, but they hit very hard. So I mean, his last fight he beat Tim Dirty Bird Means. Um, he lost to Orabali. I think Orabali's a nice up and coming prospect, so that's not bad. Beat Semmelsberger, everybody beats him. He beat Omar Morales. Omar Morales is a really good fighter, really good stand up fighter, and he knocked him out. And then he lost to Jalen Turner, beat Alan Cruz. Alan Cruz was good. Geez, this is a tough fight to pick. Like, I think Soriano has more paths to victory though, because he has to have the wrestling if he trains out of Extreme Couture. Um, oh Jesus. This guy beat Jamie Pickett. Poliano Soriano beat Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett's another guy who shouldn't be in the UFC. Um, Dusko Tordovich, like Poliano Serrano's got some decent wins in there. So I think I'm gonna go with him as the dog. He's only like what is he? Yeah, plus 180. I just think it's too much. These guys are pretty much the same fighter. They're gonna come in and bang. It's probably gonna be the fight of the night. There's that, and then there's one other fight on here I think could possibly be fight of the night. But this is gonna be a banger. And in those type of fights, you kind of want to have your money on the dog because it's gonna be whoever lands with that hard shot first. Um, but Poliana Serrano having that wrestling in there, I like it. All right, next fight we got Austin Bashi, who is a as blue chip prospect as they get in the UFC, and I know he's coming off the Contender Series. This kid, Warrior Way mixed martial arts. I don't know about that, but he's only 23 years old, and the guy is just built like a brick shithouse. He's built like a wrestler. He won on the Contender Series via rear naked choke in the second round against some guy I never heard of before. But man, this is a huge step up in competition to fight Christian Rodriguez uh, in your first fight in the UFC. Like that's crazy. Christian Rodriguez trains out of uh, Rufus Sport in Milwaukee with the. If you remember the Pettis brothers, Anthony Pettis and Sergio Pettis still fights, I believe, in I call it PFL Tour. I believe he's in the Bellator portion of PFL, if that makes any sense. Um, yeah, he's the one who beat Rojas Jr. He dominated him. Rojas Jr. just gassed himself, but he dominated in that fight. Won a unanimous decision. He beat Isaac Dulgarian as well. Those were two blue chip prospects as well, and he ruined their day. But then he goes and he gets guillotined by Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa stinks. The guy's 29 and 11, and you got subbed by him. And Bashi, I think he wins by submission. Even though this guy's from Rufus Sports, yeah, he's this guy also has a loss. Rodriguez also has a loss to Jonathan Pierce. Jonathan Pierce been in the UFC for forever. I just remember him because he's got a power sign tattoo right here on his chest. Um, but man, Jonathan Pierce to take a decision from him that's not that good. So if you're losing to Jonathan Pierce and Julian Erosa, there's no way you're going to beat Austin Bishi, in my opinion. Even with those good wins, because Raul Rojas and Bulgarian might be better than this Bishi guy, at least right now. But the kid's 23 years old. The UFC does not want this kid to lose. Like I say, he's as blue chip as they can get, and just go with the favorite here. Go with Beshi. He's minus 270, which is a pretty hefty price. But if yeah, like the next time this guy fights, I think he's going to perform really well here. And the next time he fights, he's going to be at like 5-600. So get your value on this guy now. Um, And yeah, I just don't think he's Christian Rodriguez isn't going to get three upsets in a row like this, taking out blue chip prospects. I don't see it. Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov is the next fight. This is the one. This is another one. Could be a banger. I don't know why all these fights aren't in the co-main event. This co-main event stinks when I get to it. But Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. This is an awesome fight. Chris Curtis, one of my favorite, most exciting fighters in the UFC. He trains with Sean Strickland. Not the most sexy record out of there, 31 and 11. But that record is very, very deceiving. I believe he trains out of Extreme Couture as well. Yeah, Extreme Couture, but he's 37 years old from Cincinnati. And he is the one or two guys in Extreme Couture that don't have a wrestling background, but he's got very good wrestling defense. Which won't matter in this fight because Kopylov doesn't know how to take people down. But yeah, this is just going to be an all stand up fight, and both of them are very technical. This is going to be a decision fight. If I like anything in this fight, I would say probably to go all three rounds. Yeah, because Kopylov is he's kind of a sniper. He's a tall, thin guy. Chris Curtis just kind of likes to just hang out right here in a high guard, come forward, do a little the bobbing and weaving, and pick his shots. But Kopylov is a sniper, and I think Kopylov is just going to kind of pick him apart from the outside. He's not going to stand in there and bang with Curtis. Curtis will be coming forward the whole fight, but I just don't think he throws enough volume to beat a guy like Kopylov in a decision. But Chris Curtis looked great in his last fight against Brandon Allen. It's a split decision he lost, but he easily could have won that fight. And he was like a 3-4 to 1 underdog in that fight, I believe. Brendan Allen's a really good fighter. He might be fighting for a title too here pretty soon. Beat Marc Andre Barrios, like Nazardine Imavov, like Chris Curtis got a lot of good wins. Joaquin Buckley, Rodolfo Vieira, Brendan Allen, Phil Hawes, Kenny Roberson. Those are some wins right there. But he lost to Jack Hermanson, Kevin Gastelum, Brandon Allen. Kopylov's just as good as all those guys. So give me Kopylov here. I think he's minus 180. Um, minus 230. It's tough to get a bet against a guy like Chris Curtis with that big of odds, but I like Kopylov so much. He beat Cesar Almeida a couple of fights ago, and I had him as a dog in that fight. But if he can beat Almeida on the feet, he could definitely beat Chris Curtis on the feet. So let's go to the next fight, which is Abdul Razak Alasan versus Cesar Almeida. This is my favorite pick on the whole card, and it's going to be Cesar Almeida. Abdul Rakasan, like ever since he's got in the UFC, like I never saw what everybody sees in this guy. He's got knockout power. He can be very exciting. No, he trains at Fortis MMA. I don't like betting against those guys, but he's 39 years old. Let me see what he's doing in the UFC. Like he's 6-6 in the UFC, and let's see, does he have any quality wins? Let's look for that. Claudio Ribeiro, don't know who he is. Alessio Di Chirico, he was that Italian guy. Geez, he head kicked him in 17 seconds. Di Chirico was decent, but he's not that great of a fighter. That's probably his best win. Oh, he beat Nico Price. So Nico Price is his best win. Sabah Hamasi stinks. But yeah, he hit 3 losses in a row where he lost to Morner Laziz. Don't know who that is. Chaos Williams, good. Jacob Malkoon, not good. He lost to him. And he lost to Joaquin Buckley, and he lost to Joe Pfeiffer. And I mean, Cesar Almeida is better than all those guys on the feet. Cesar Almeida beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing, so I'm not betting against him. But I really love that because Cesar Almeida lost his last fight to Kopylov, and the UFC has very high hopes for Almeida. The UFC is just picking everybody off of Alex Pereira's kickboxing resume and trying to get him into the UFC. They did it with the Contender Series last season. I think they had 3 fighters that had fought Alex Pereira in kickboxing, and they gave him a shot in the UFC. But at least you know that their kickboxing is as high level as it gets in the world. So a guy like Razak Alasan, he doesn't know how to wrestle. All he knows how to do is knock people out with one punch, but you're not going to land that one punch on a guy who's been kickboxing his whole life. I just don't see it. I absolutely love Cesar Almeida in this fight, and I think minus 265 is really good odds. I would take him if he was minus 5 or 600 in this fight. So I really like Almeida there. Yeah, and then the full main event, Jesus, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlton Harris. Um, Santiago Ponzinibbio is, let me see, 30. Yeah, he's 38 years old. He's 38 years old. He's an American Top Team guy. I love betting guys from that gym. But I mean, he's just on a downswing. He lost his last 2 fights to Kevin Holland and Salikov, both really good fighters. He beat Alex Moreno, yeah, but then he lost to Michel Pereira, Jeff Neal. So the guy's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. I mean, I don't know, but his resume from before, like this guy was really good at one point. Listen to this string of wins here: Neil Magny, Mike Perry, Gunnar Nelson, Nordine Talib, Zach Cummings. Zach Cummings was a really good wrestler back in the day. Port McGee. Like those are all wins and they're all right in a row. But the problem is that was back in 2016, 2017, 2018. It was a while ago. But I still have that fighter in my mind. Like at least he has the potential to go back there and, kind of repeat that performance. Like, I mean, Harris, he is 37 years old. He's from a fight team that I never heard of before. He's 4-2 in the UFC. Uh, he's got some good wins actually. He beat Imp Kansagane, who won the PFL tournament twice since he left the UFC. Shavkat Rakhmonov, he lost to. Can't hold anything against him there. Shavkat was one of the best fighters in the world. He beat Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon, yeah. Jeremiah Wells is a good fighter that he beat, and then he lost to Chaos Williams. So like, it's not bad, but he's 37 years old. Just give me the veteran here in Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think Ponzinibbio can definitely outpoint this guy. If you like Harris, I would just go with Harris by knockout because if Harris wins, I think it's going to be because what's his face is absolutely shot. Hey, Eddie Alvarez, how you doing, bud? Who's that? Who's fighting for a check? Santiago Ponzinibbio? If it's Ponzinibbio, he he deserves it, man. He had a good career. Yeah, man. Eddie, if you're listening, I'm just testing this out. This is my first time trying to mess around with a live stream here, and I'm computer illiterate, so trying to figure things out. And we're on to the main event here with Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Hebos. I was huge on Hebos when she came into the UFC. The tall, lanky girl. I think I watched her. He knocked somebody out in her debut, and I was like, this girl's going to be a champion. Who was it? Oh, maybe it was when she armbarred Paige Van Zant, Randa Marcos, Mackenzie Dern. Yeah, she beat Dern like 6 years ago. But yeah, it was the Emily Whitmore fight, rear naked choke she did in her debut here. And Emily Whitmore, I remember she was a halfway decent fighter, and then she went right into Mackenzie Dern and beat Dern. Yeah, man, I mean, Santiago, like I said, he deserves it. He deserves a paycheck more than this Carlton Harris guy. Sometimes also like he's from Argentina. That other guy's from somewhere in Africa, I believe. Like sometimes the UFC likes to hang on to those fighters who are in different parts of the world just to get viewership from there. I mean, I see it all the time on the Contender Series. I don't know how many fighters they tried to put from New Zealand or Australia on the Contender Series this year, but it just got annoying. They were just trying to recreate Robert Whitaker and Steve Urseg. It seemed like, and I don't think the fighters were that good. They were just like they did a show in Australia, and they were like, round up like 10 guys. I'll have them fight on the Contender Series. But I wasn't a big fan of that. But maybe that's what they're doing with Ponzinibbio. But Ponzinibbio deserves it. It's just if he loses, he should probably either put the gloves down or, just they might have to cut him. And but he can go over to the PFL and maybe win $1 million over there. But this fight here, yeah, I mean, I remember I took Hebos in the first one, but that was because Dern was just starting out in MMA, and Dern has gotten a lot better, especially with her striking. She trains at Black House. I know her husband is a professional fighter as well. But yeah, Dern is just like the UFC wants this girl to win, and she did win. Yeah, she beat Lupi Guns Godinez in her last fight. Godinez is a really good fighter, and Godinez has got good wrestling. That's probably why she beat her. I can't remember. I know I bet Dern in that fight, but um, I'm assuming Lupi Godinez. didn't try to take her down in that fight because she was worried about the jiu-jitsu, and that's Loopy's uh, that's her go-to there. And if she couldn't get the takedown, she ain't that good on the feet either. But Dern's bad on the feet. So Dern, her problem is when she steps in against strikers, she don't do too well. Amanda Lemos beat her. Jessica Andrade knocked her out. Angela Hill, that fight was close, I remember, I believe. And Angela Hill with a 15 and 12 record is very deceiving. I love Angela Hill. That's actually a good win. That Zhao Yan girl, like she lost a split decision to her or majority decision. No shame in that. Um, Yan fought for a title, I believe, last year. She beat Tisha Torres or Tisha Pennington now. But yeah, the tiny tornado. I love Tisha Torres. She was able to beat her. She lost to Mariana Rodriguez, beat Nina Nunez. Randa Marcos is a good win. Hannah Cyphers, you better be able to beat her. She beat her with a knee bar. Yeah, but like Dern's been she's had a very tough route in the UFC because the problem is with her, she's so popular, they have to put her on the main card. They can't hide her on the prelims and let her get better. They got to put her on the main card. They got to put her against a decent fighter. And unfortunately, she's learning on the job and it hasn't worked out well. But like these are good fighters she's losing to. Amanda Lemos is a stud. Jessica Andrade, stud. Jan is a stud. Mariana Rodriguez fought for a title a year or so ago. Those are her only losses. And then Ribas was her only loss. But Ribas was her second fight in the UFC back in 2019. So I'm going with Dern, the underdog here. And part of this is going to be shout out to my brother, who's a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm going to go with the jiu-jitsu girl and hope that she just does not try to strike with Amanda Ribas, because she will get knocked out. Ribas is decent on the ground, but I think Dern can win it. I think she can win a decision here. Um, I don't know if she gets the takedowns, but her striking is good enough to maybe just kind of grapple her against the cage. She's definitely stronger than Hebas. And she if the fight goes to the ground, she will get a submission. She will be able to submit Hebas. I think she gets it here. I think she gets it here and she goes on and she wins one more fight after this and then gets a title shot. Because that's what the UFC is trying to do. They're just trying to get her 2 wins, and she's in another main event. So like everyone just keeps seeing her. They keep seeing her against good fighters. So it's I don't care that you lose when you step up, but if you do string a few of them together, you deserve a title shot over somebody who's, you know, winning, against low level opposition and strings together 5 or 6 wins in a row. Like I don't care. You should have beat those guys, but like I don't want to find out in a title fight that you weren't that good. Dern has proven she just is who she is, but with that jujitsu in her back pocket, like it's hard to go against that because if she has 5 rounds, and that's why I'm taking her here. She's got 5 rounds to try and get a sub. It's almost like taking a knockout artist. He's got 5 rounds to knock the other person out. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, those are my picks, and I'll get better at this live streaming thing. It's just if anybody's got any questions in the chat, let me know. If you got any picks, if you want, I'll make a quick parlay. I'll steal a page out of my buddy Gary from. If anybody on here is if you can go to it's his page is 3D boxing, and he's got a really good boxing page. If you like, he likes betting favorites. The guy bets the same way that I do, and he bets a lot of heavy favorites, but he always throws a parlay together in his videos. So I'm gonna do that here. I'm gonna say for a parlay, we're gonna stay away from some of these early fights that I don't know many of the fighters here. I'm gonna stay away from them, but Jacoby Smith, I would throw in a parlay at minus 580. I would throw Almeida or Austin Bashi at minus 270. Almeida, at minus 265. And yeah, maybe that's it for the parlay. But that parlay will pay out definitely plus money, and you'll probably get like plus 200 or plus 250 on it. But those are my top picks for the value. Some of these other picks, they're just hard to. It's hard to figure out some of these guys. I mean, Tiago Moises is another guy. I think he's the best fighter on the card. Tiago Moises. A lot of these other guys got potential. Austin Bashi's definitely got potential, but I'm telling you, I think Tiago Moises is the best fighter on this card, and he's way down in the prelims. He's fighting Trey Ogden. Trey Ogden, in my mind, is an overachiever. I hate betting against the guy. I'm like, I just don't think he's that good. I mean, he's been proving me wrong pretty much his whole career, but I just don't think he gets it done here against a veteran like Moises. Like he's been, let me go back to his thing here. Yeah, like Loki Razmadov, like I mean, I know that name sounds like he should be really good because his name ends in OV, but Loki Razmadov, like I don't think he's that good. I remember I think he gassed in that fight. I think that guy, he's a big muscled up guy, but I'm pretty sure he gassed in that fight. Kurt Holloway's a decent veteran. Um, those are his last two wins, and I believe he was a dog in both of those fights. He might have been a pick 'em against Hollabaugh. Ignacio Bahamos, he lost to, but Ignacio's pretty good. The Daniel Zellhuber win, that was the win where I was just like, wow, I can't believe he beat Zellhuber. He was probably like a 4 or 5 to 1 underdog in that, and when he beat Zellhuber, but Zellhuber is a really good fighter now. But he also lost to Jordan Levet. So, I mean, Thiago Moises is better than everybody on his resume, in my opinion. And I think I think he's overvalued here because he's got two wins in a row, and I believe Moises is coming off of a loss, and it's a bad one. Like he's got some bad losses on his resume, but I mean, American top team he trained with his whole career, and now he's training with the fighting nerds. Like I am just anybody if it says fighting nerds, that's who he's training with. I'm betting that guy. I don't care who. Like I bet them all last year. I don't know if I lost a fight with all their fighters. Like Chal Barello definitely hasn't lost a fight in the UFC. That Duffy guy hasn't lost a fight. Um, yeah, their whole gym is amazing. But yeah, the Ludwig Klein loss. I mean, God, I don't know how you lose to Ludwig Klein. Klein's a big, strong guy, but that kind of scares me with Moises. But Moises is a better fighter. He's just like he's got potential. He's only 29 years old, so I would say he's in his prime. But even when he was younger, Michael Johnson, Bobby Green, Alex Hernandez, all those guys are a lot better than Trey Ogden, in my opinion. And he beat all three of them. He also beat Kurt Hollabaugh. Um, he was also thrown in pretty tough. So his first fight in the UFC, he fought Neil Dariush. Um, Dariush has a fight coming up too. I think he's fighting Money Moicano. Demir Ismagulov, like they threw him into the Moises into the wolves against him. Like these were all earlier in his career though, when he was like 20, low 20s years old. Like I don't hold that against him. But yeah, like Moises would be another person if you want to get crazy with the parlay. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me here. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm just gonna play around with this here and try to get back to these screens. Hey, I'm back to the screen so I can chat. Yeah, guys, thanks for sticking around here. Like I said, I'm just messing around with this. I just don't know what I'm doing with these screens. I can't get the two screens to meet with each other, and it just doesn't look right. But I'm just trying to keep the commentary going. Oh Jesus! Hey, there we go. I want to see also if I can. I'm trying to get the. So what I'm trying to do here is just try to get the comment to pop up on the screen here. Let's see if we can do that. Huh? Pin message, maybe. Oh, kinda. Yeah. Hey, Gino. I mean, there are a lot of free ones out there, like where you could just sign up and get free money. I'll show you how to do. I'll show you guys how to do it on here when I get a minute. But there's a lot of stuff like DraftKings, FanDuel, and there's probably like three or four more of them out there. They will give you $250 or whatever of a free play. And what you do is you win the money from DraftKings. You take their $250. You take FanDuel's $250 and you just bet them against each other and you just take the free $250. Like I've done it with like six websites, I believe, within the last couple of years. They're all doing it for new users. And if you're a new user, you sign up. It's like if you deposit five, you'll get like 250 or 150 or whatever you get. Just take one website and bet it against the other, so you're guaranteed money. Now you can sit there and try to put their free plays and get them into real cash. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Just take the free money, and you could do that for anybody as well. Like so, if you got a significant other or something like that who doesn't gamble, just have them start up an account, get the free plays, bet them against each other, and then just cash out and get the hell out of there. They're trying to get you addicted to gambling. And if you're a smart person and you don't get addicted to gambling, just take the free money. They'll give it to you. That's how sure they are that enough people will get addicted to it. Because trust me, plenty of my friends have gotten in there. They get the free money. They try to win with the free money. When that's gone, they end up reloading their account. And that's what DraftKings and FanDuel, Fanatics is another one. Like, that's what they're trying to do. And there's enough people that do it. Just don't get suckered into that. So, yeah, don't bet. Like, this isn't betting. This is just free money. I mean, there's like $500 or so out there that's free for anybody. Yeah, if you guys got any questions on the fights, any question for boxing, there is some really good boxing on tomorrow in the UK. There's a guy named Callum Simpson fighting, and I just watched a story about him today. Callum Simpson's a guy from the UK. He's an up and coming fighter. He's like 12-0, and he lost his little sister last year, and he's 30 years old, and he lost his little sister who was 19. And I lost my little sister who was 19 years old when she passed, and I was 30 years old when I lost her. And so I know what Callum Simpson's going through, and for him to be going in the beginning of his boxing career, now he's headlining a fight in Sheffield, England tomorrow, and his little sister's not going to be there, but like my eyes are going to be glued to that whole card rooting for Callum Simpson. That's another thing, like if you want to build a parlay on some of these UFC fights, mix in a little bit of boxing in there as well. Like I'm way better at boxing picks, but heavy favorites tend to win a lot in boxing. Callum Simpson's like minus 700. Throw Callum Simpson and there's a girl named Caroline Dubois who's fighting on the undercard. She's like minus 2,500, but just toss her on there. I mean, it's free. I call them parlay juicers. Like it's free money. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate it. I'm trying, buddy. But yeah. So while I'm in here right now, I'm gonna try and get to the this little split screen. I just like I had no choice, but when I set this whole thing up, like I just had to go live without being able to figure anything out. So that this is literally a test run for me. It's just it was hard enough just setting all this stuff up, but can't figure. Oh, maybe if I go up here. Trying to look at my phone to see what's showing up on the screen because when I click off of something, it just goes blank. Yeah, it's not showing up on the screen. I don't know why that is. Man. And I'm trying to get used to the laptop, which makes it way worse because I haven't had a laptop my whole life. So going from your phone to a laptop, trying to figure that out, trying to figure out the YouTube stream. I mean, I'm at a deficit here. Let me try going. And oh, there's a share screen button. Are we an hour into this and I didn't see that there? Oh, I think I figured it out. I don't care about this ad. Right, it says the screen sharing, but I don't see anything on the YouTube page. Oh man, I lose it. Go back to here. Oh, oh, I got it. An hour later. Jesus. All right. All right. So next video will be a lot better. This is what I've been trying to do for the last hour. Um Jesus, it was just a simple friggin' icon that I had to look for. Oh my god, the whole thing's right here. I don't have to go back and forth. Thank God. There we go. This is what I wanted the whole time. Then I could just sit. Oh, maybe not. It's not let me click on here. Yeah, Gino, I got it. But no, it's not letting me go to the on here. Huh. But hey, baby steps, baby steps. We got ourselves a win. This is a win right here. We got this page. Now I know how to do that. Um, that's just a tab. I don't know why I can't click on here. There's me. End stream. Stop sharing. Yeah, it's just I got the screen. I just can't click on it. Yep. Maybe I'll figure that out in another hour. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I know, Gino. I don't, like I said, I don't want to go back to that other stream because I'm worried I'll close something else out. Or to be honest, I don't think I know how to get back there. Is the thing. Technology. There's live stream. Yeah, I'm just trying to just winging this here, trying to figure stuff out. Let's see. No. Actually, you know what I could do? I'll have to do it from my phone to end the other one. No, man. I'm gonna go end the other one real quick, see if the it'll clear up the screen. Oop. Yeah, I can't find it. Like it's not even showing up on on my phone, the live feed. Yeah, it's not showing up. Yeah, the other thing I watched a video on to do the screen share, and it said if it does get a little blurry, you can go into there's a settings part when you set this up, and the guy said if the 1080p is too high, just click a lower resolution and it'll clear things up. But he said to just try it at a higher level, see how it does. All right, but yeah, that little stupid icon down there. Now that I figured that thing out, and the next stream will go twice as good. I'll probably do one tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live during the boxing event. Maybe I'll just go live for the UFC tomorrow. So Gino, tell your buddies I'll go live for the UFC event tomorrow, and I'll do a little watch along, and I'll commentate the fights as they're going on. 'Cause I could sit there and do that all day. Anything but trying to figure out technology, I'm there. But yeah, I could sit there and commentate fights all day. So, but yeah, I really want to figure this out to where I can click onto this stuff right here. Just let me click. Oh, there we go. All right, little by little, I'm figuring out. So this is exactly where I want to be. Yeah, it took me a little over an hour to figure it out, but this is what I wanted. That's the exact screen that I wanted. So I am good to go. Like a kid during Christmas here. All right. So I'll just start from there tomorrow. So tomorrow, when I commentate on the fights and stuff, I can have this page up and just kind of as the fights are going, I'll just have each little thing highlighted. Maybe, like if Almeida's fighting, I'll just kind of pull his information up while he's fighting, give you a little preview before the fight. And, we'll just wing it, but it'll be fun. Now I can go back here. Yeah, all right. That's what I wanted. And then I could just hit stop sharing and go back to the original. Got it figured out. Um, that that's good enough for now. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys, and going through this. It's got nowhere to go from but up from here. Um, th- this is it. Like I said, I was just thrown off when I clicked the live stream. Like it kind of just sends you right there, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But yeah, I'm gonna get to watching this Ohio State Texas game, see how that's going, and you guys have a good night. Gino, have a good one. The setup's working, buddy. And see if we can figure out how to end this. Probably going to be the end stream button. Yeah. Yeah, you could just check me out on these lives. I mean, dude, if I could figure this out, like I'll go live every weekend if for boxing fights and UFC fights. I mean, we had a little break there for a while, but they're going to be on pretty much every weekend. So I'll be on here messing around. I watch boxing and UFC every weekend. So you guys have a good night. I will be here tomorrow night for the UFC fights. Sweet. Yo. All right. Is it still going?